Back for a second time for the day. It is time for game number 2. The Indiana girls pulverized Kentucky 106-64. You probably think this one's going to be a little closer. Indiana in the blue, Kentucky in the white for this junior all-star game from Charlestown High School. Today's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented by the Ed Martin Automotive Group. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know. By Galetko and Daly, work injury lawyers. Learn more at indianaworkers.com. By Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Avon. Call Nathan Begley today and let's insurance together. By 9-Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew? By Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Check out unrnkd.com. And by Hamilton Southeastern Schools, to open to students outside of the HSE district. Learn more at hseschools.org. Alongside Pete Smith, my name is Greg Rakestraw. We began the last game by saying, hey, listen, the Indiana junior girls have a tough act to follow because the Indiana senior girls were so ridiculously talented. The Indiana junior girls won 106-64. Again, we think maybe that drop-off's a little more significant from the senior class. The junior class, you'll see some great players. Luke Ertl immediately comes to mind. Going to go play at Purdue a year from now. Led Mount Vernon for the semi-state round. Kai McGrew, a player who has transferred from Lawrence North to Fishers. And we've seen him the last 2 years a lot on ISC. There's some talented players on this Indiana junior team. Maybe not the size or depth, though, of this junior class.
Yeah, size-wise, they'll be giving up some inches to this Kentucky team they're going to play. But big-time scorers. You already mentioned Luke Ertl, 22.5. Blake Neal averaged 26.7 as a junior at Bloomfield. So a lot of big scores. Be just interesting to see how they play. But size-wise, got the 6-foot Trey Shelsky, who is an all-around great player at his school. But otherwise, they're going to have 6'2" and bigger. Some decent size, but nothing like Kentucky.
You've got a couple of small school stars in Shelsky for Park Heritage. Again, his dad is the head coach, and they have kind of scheduled up over the course of the last few years. And obviously, Blake has put up some serious numbers at Bloomfield, which has historically produced some really good players. Other thing to note of this group as well, Anthony Fresh gets a chance to play on his home court. He is a Charlestown Pirate.
And we love this gym, beautiful gymnasium, as you can see. Seats 3,200. Chad Gilbert, their athletic director and former high school basketball coach, great player down there in the area, obviously. And we're just excited to be here this afternoon, Greg.
From a scoring standpoint, Tylen George stands out for Kentucky. 6'4", averaging 31 points a game at University Heights High School. And Leek Ateni, who is 6'10", plays for Danville Christian, kind of like Malachi Moreno has done for Kentucky, who is their top player on the boys' side for the seniors. Going to play at UK. He's played in AAU basketball with kids from Indiana. Same has been the case with Leek as well at 6'10". So again, that's some of our thoughts before we get this game going. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, introduction of the rosters and opening tip-off from Charlestown High School. It is the boys' game of the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Series, and it comes your way next on the ISC Sports Network.
9-Star is very focused on customer and member care, focused on making sure that however we communicate with the member and customer is how they want to communicate.
Sometimes we're the one person that they speak to in a day, and you want that conversation to be happy and pleasant.
As a nonprofit co-op, we're focused on providing the best service we can for our members.
9-Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
For the first time ever, Hamilton Southeastern Schools is opening its doors
to students residing outside the district.
If you are looking for an award-winning school system
that offers top-tier academics, innovative programs, and endless opportunities,
now is your chance to join us. With more than 21,000 students, HSC is where learning comes to life.
Apply today and become part of a district that's shaping the future. Because at HSC, excellence starts here.
Players about to be introduced. Again, it's Kentucky in the white on your left, Indiana in the blue on your right. And you're like, wait a minute, should those colors be reversed? Well, they are for the seniors. That's why the juniors wear the opposite color when they play their counterparts like the Indiana Juniors will do coming up on Wednesday night at Greenfield Central. A game we will have for you on the ISC Sports Network. Let's introduce you to the team from Kentucky. Leek Ateni, 6'10". Seth Cottle from Hazard. Jalen Crane from Caverna High School. Cole Edlin of Louisville Male. Jake Feldhaus from Madison Central. And let's point out, if you're of a certain age like I am, you heard that last name and go, hey, did his dad play at Kentucky? Yes, he did. Darrow's on that 1992 Unforgettables team in Kentucky. In fact, his father and grandfather both played at the University of Kentucky. Tylen George, Jeremiah Jackson, Jade Johnson, Jagger Martis, Amari Owens, Jacob Spurlock, DeMarcus Surratt are the rostered players for Kentucky. Brandon Salzman, head coach of Lexington Catholic.
And just to make a note, I was talking about the general size. I forgot two of their players that were listed on their original roster, Reese Davidson of North Laurel and James Turner from Newport, both 6'8", are not playing in this game. So, that decreases the size advantage I originally thought when I was doing all that homework to get ready for this game, Greg.
So again, the full roster for Kentucky. Game director Scott Chalke, part of the festivities as well, representing Team Kentucky. In terms of scoring averages, Edlin 22 points a game, Feldhaus 22 points a game. We mentioned George at 31 points a contest. Amari Owens 22.5 points a contest. And Jacob Spurlock of Boyd County averaging 24 points a contest. We had referenced the series in terms of the junior boys and junior girls. Indiana won the junior girls game today to run their record to 13-1 in this series. The boys game has been much more competitive. Now, Indiana won it handily last year, but 8-5 is what the record is in the games played against Indiana and Kentucky since 2012. Now, of note, Kaysen Dager is here, but you can't really tell. He's kind of wearing what the kids would call slides, what I would call flip-flops. He is injured. He's in uniform. He is not going to be playing today. No Jay Sean Ladd. Stephen Reynolds was named to the team, but again, his dad, who has coached his three older sisters in high school, the family has all moved to Texas because Stephen and the girls will now be coaching and playing at the University of Texas at Arlington for the Mavericks. So with that, Stephen is no longer going to be going to high school in South Bend, Washington, no longer playing in this game. So a little bit of a shortened roster today for Indiana. Anthony Fresh, Blake Neal, Trey Shelsky, Luke Erdl, Ty McGrew, Carrion Berry got added to the roster. He's going to play in the North game only. He is now playing in both. Edwin Holmes, Justin Curry II, Noah Smith, and Dikembe Shaw will be the players you will see playing for Indiana. Your thoughts about this group, Pete?
I love watching Luke Erdl play. He will lead the show for Mount Vernon next year, but this year he's leading the show for the Junior All-Stars. Outstanding guard. His older brother was an outstanding player in his own right at Mount Vernon, but Luke is just fun to watch play. He's left-handed, but he can do things with both hands extremely well in the court, and he's got some good guys to throw it to in this game, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, Luke's certainly in a position to be like other families have had, and that is have multiple members of the family make the Indiana All-Star team. Michael was an Indiana All-Star before going on to play at the University of Louisiana at Monroe and the University of Alabama at Birmingham before going on to play professional basketball overseas.
He was good. Well, I had to guard him in the section. When I coached at Guerin Catholic, he was hard to stop, but we found a way.
Head coach is Todd Wolfley of Terre Haute North. Of course, he led the Patriots to the semi-state round for the first time in over 25 years. And Eli Henson has led Manchester to the 2A championship, now has taken the job at Tippy Valley. He is the assistant coach for today's game. And we will play two 20-minute halves in this contest. So it is kind of a combination of high school and college rules. We do not have an official shot clock, but in an all-star game, I doubt we will actually need it.
Now, take a look at the starters there. He threw the ball right away to Erdl. Let him bounce it a little bit as the Indiana kids start out. We see Dikembe Shaw is going to be out there. I'll let you go ahead and fill him in there, Greg.
McGrew, Shaw, Erdl, Justin Curry II, and Barry. So again, you got 5 of the core 6 that will get to play to start today's game.
See Jake Feldhaus talking to Dikembe Shaw, number 40. Jake wearing number 1. Excited to see him play. You and I were talking before the game. I remember seeing his father play for the Kentucky All-Stars in 1987 against one of the best Indiana All-Star teams I can remember. So we'll see how little Feldhouse is doing per se, or the youngest Feldhouse, Jake.
We are underway. Indiana in blue has the basketball. Barry on the drive, turns down for McGrew to fire the three, and that does not go. And the rebound controlled by Kentucky. That is Jaden Johnson from Trinity, who we saw come to Indy and play a couple of years ago. That is DeMarcus Surratt from Frederick Douglass High School for a three, and quickly answered by Dikembe Shaw.
Very emerging player for Coach Clint Swan, who's here in the gym today.
Yeah, Shaw and Ertl both played together on a team that won the 10th grade championship that Pete and I were in attendance for last year down in Rock Hill, South Carolina, playing for Indiana Elite at the time. Indiana turnover.
Well, Curry with a good hustle play, just couldn't keep his balance on the baseline there.
Well, knocked away. It's Cole Edlin that has the ball. In from Mayo High School. And historically, great program in the heart of Louisville.
Going to say that same Ballard and Mayo, those two schools I just think of right away when I think of Louisville basketball.
You can name some pros from those two squads. And the three is good. De'Aaron Watkins from Davis County. That is the Owensboro area. The three almost banked in.
Very.
And Jaden Johnson the rebound. Trinity played in North Central's holiday tournament not last year, but the year before.
Right. I think I did that game.
You and I did that game where North Central beat them, and they beat Carmel the next time out. Dikembe Shaw lays it up and in. Crown Point will play in the Hall of Fame Classic on the ISC Sports Network on December 23rd. And it is thought that Crown Point, who is their stopping point has been Fishers the last couple of years, it might be Crown Point's year. Shot taken and missed by Watkins, rebounded by Indiana. McGrew does a good job of collecting his balance and lays it up and in.
Got him, and it's going to be a little bit different watching him play in a Fishers uniform. Not because I think anything's wrong with it, just he's been such a staple for Coach Chris Giffen the last 2 years since he transferred from Colorado his sophomore year to Lawrence North.
In the lane, contested shot is good.
Tough shot.
Marcus Surratt, 16 points a game at Frederick Douglass High School. Here's Ertl. Just isolation, let him go to work. And he is going to Purdue. Finds the angle. Finds Shaw in the baseline corner for three.
Oh, Dikembe off to a good start. He's got 7 already of the 9 or the 10 points for Indiana.
Shot is good. Jaden Johnson gets the answer. And Johnson, one of those kids, has such talent around him. He goes plays for any other program, he's averaging more than 15 a game. McGrew the miss. Ertl, a logo three, yes sir.
And what did we say in the girls' game? We're starting to call that in the girls' game. I did at least a Caitlin Clark three.
Now in other parts of the country, that's a Curry three.
Right.
In Indiana, that's a Halley three he just hit. 13-10 Indiana off the Kentucky turnover, which is their second.
Was really impressed real quick, Greg, with the girls' game. Our Indiana girls had 1 turnover at halftime, and that really allowed them to get a lot of good shots. And though they didn't make them all, they had 56 points at halftime of that girls' game that we did earlier this afternoon.
Step back by Barry does not go. Indiana won by 42, scored 106 points, and nobody had more than 14 points. That's indication everybody played well. Shot missed by Edlin. Ertl the no-look. Shaw the benefactor. And again, those kids have played together in AAU basketball. They know where each other are going to be.
Well, and he looked away, too. He had a great look off. He looked towards the sideline, and Shaw just kept making his cut, as you referred to. They played together. Shaw says, I'm not giving up on my point guard.
Three is good.
Feldhouse.
– 15-13. Indiana in front by 2.
Nice pass again.
Slip to McGrew, and McGrew rarely gets met at the rim like that.
Feldhouse got him, I think.
Pull up, jump shot, no. Take, the runner is good. That's Curry.
Known more for his three-point shooting, but a nice drive there. by the Noblesville Miller.
Both teams with their offensive flow going early. Shot missed.
Bad shot. He was setting up Feldhaus. And he had no rebounding opportunity because he was set up for Feldhaus to shoot it.
Another deep three for Ertl. Not that time. Ertl, 22.5 points a game. Mount Vernon lost to the eventual state champs in the morning game of the semi-state. A game where they led in the fourth quarter. Trailer three by Curry. No, but Ertl gets maybe his easiest two of the game. See, a line change awaits for both sides.
Indiana really doing a good job pushing the ball up where Kentucky's really walking it up and playing on the half court. Ertl, what a play, what a steal.
Third Kentucky turnover. Ertl always looking for a teammate. Three-pointer.
Have we seen his three-point shot just get better and better, Greg? I still like him around the basket personally a little bit more because he's so big and strong. He was a dunk machine on games on ISC this year, but he has really extended that game out to 19-9 and beyond.
And frankly, that's why he's a high major recruit,
yeah.
is that ability. An offensive foul going to be called against Kentucky. And that'll lead us to a chance to get some new faces in the game. Anthony Fresh will come on. That's Noah Smith, you see. See him on a regular basis, young man from Plainfield. Of course, his father Angelo played at both Lawrence North and IUPUI with a stop at Xavier in between.
I coached against him at LN. He was a big one.
Look forward to seeing him on Wednesday night. Noah part of the core group will play on both nights. And Ertl got stopped but got fouled. That's Amari Owens from Lexington Bryan Station called for the whistle.
That's the quality Luke Ertl has, Greg, is that he's able to just, it looks like he's in trouble and he always finds a way to get that ball out of the pocket when they double team him.
Misses that one. Former quarterback on the Mount Vernon football team, now focusing on basketball.
Great quarterback.
A football injury his sophomore year cost him most of his sophomore basketball season, and that was it in terms of his football days. Deep three, no. Crash, no. But the rebound corralled by Kentucky and Tylen George. Runner, contested, no, and good job by Smith to rebound down.
Here's our hometown boy.
And he gets the right to go for it in his home gym. And
Anthony Fresh.
The hustle by Smith leads to a extra possession here for Indiana. Curry now will check out. Replacing him will be Trey Shelsky.
Are we at the Garden or are we in Charlestown?
This may be the best NBA-style organ, which is obviously a now computerized edition of it. It's got that old school NBA feel to it. Shelsky just checked in, let her fly, does not go. The rebound corralled by Kentucky. Park Heritage in its brief history has routinely been one of the best teams in 2A. Fight for the loose ball, Shelsky comes out of there with it. McGrew again, catch and shoot, got it. McGrew's second three, Indiana has a 12-point lead, and we'll have ourselves a timeout. Let's take it with them. 25-13 Indiana. 7 minutes into the first half, you're watching on ISC.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
So back to live action here at Charlestown. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you. Indiana looking for the doubleheader sweep. They won both games handily last year.
Good pass. That was a nice play after the timeout. Don't get rewarded with the basket, but a nice set play there by Coach Salzman.
Jeremiah Jackson, shot blocked by Eteni. But then McGrew gets the takeaway. Good find, extra pass, and Fresh gets the bucket in front of the home crowd. They average 21 a game for the Pirates. And that's going to be a foul.
I like the aggressiveness now. They're doubling a lot on the ball as it comes across the 10-second line. Anytime they have a high post screener, they're allowing that guy to double and daring them to find him. And early in the game, Kentucky made a couple threes on some pick and pops, but so far the defense has been really solid for this Indiana team as we play 2 halves, whereas the girls played 4 quarters of their game.
Edwin Holmes of Princeton checks in. 3 in the corner, does not go. And the rebound corralled by Smith. Fresh, awaiting, and buries. Give Ertl the assist. Back-to-back buckets by Fresh. This game starting to look like the first game. That's a good thing if you're from north of the Ohio River.
Right.
Last touch by Ertl. It'll remain Kentucky basketball.
I think Ertl's going to get a break here finally. He's the only one that hasn't subbed out.
If I had Ertl on my team, I'm not sure I'm subbing him out either.
No, but you got a 26.7-point scorer coming in Blake Neal, so for him, so it'll be a little bit different look maybe running the offense at point unless Shelsky takes over at point.
On the drive, good defense by Shelsky. Holmes the rebound. Very much a Southern Indiana feel with some of the kids on the floor. Holmes, if you're going to shoot it on your first touch, go ahead and make it. Exactly what he did. Princeton had a really good season.
Oh, that's deep.
And made. You can see why George averaged 31 a game. Make it from that distance.
Paul George there.
Now, Paul George wouldn't make that shot this time of year.
True, he wouldn't be playing. You're right.
Smith will fire the 3. That's up and no good. And the ball out of bounds will be Kentucky ball.
You know, you referenced Edwin Holmes. I had the opportunity to do his semi-state game for ISC and the IHSA Champions Network on at Southport this year, and had a really off day that day. It was too bad because I thought Princeton had a really good shot. Their complementary players played well, but not one of Edwin's sharper games. So I'm excited to see him play and have a good senior year for the Tigers.
Addicks, of course, came out of that site. Addicks, Brownstown Central, New Pal, and Princeton Tigers. They played North Central earlier this year. They acknowledge they need to kind of get upstate to play maybe some better competition.
On the floor.
I would say in an NBA game, that's a continuation. Not here. Again, we're playing a mix of high school and college rules, not the pro rules in this one. So Dikembe doesn't get credit for the bucket. He does have 10 to lead all scorers.
It should be a low 4-1 out of bounds. Okay, he just didn't go down first, Dikembe.
The take, and Holmes, the easy bucket.
Nice pass, though, by Fresh on the drive.
So back to a 19-point lead.
Halfway point of the first half.
Good hands by Shaw. And eventually the takeaway by Indiana.
Chelsea's going to pull up.
Missed that. Rebound controlled by Kentucky. That's George.
Kentucky really not sharing the basketball very well.
Deep 3 does not go. Good job to tip that away by Holmes. Shelsky now will find Neal and splash that one.
Well, we've heard about his shooting ability and scoring. 26.7 on the season. Drains his first 3 of this contest.
Indiana has had 7 players score. That 3 does not go. They have not attempted a free throw. That has Indiana, and they lead by 22. Shaw pulls and connects.
Wow.
And another timeout taken by Kentucky.
Good call.
Another 30-second timeout. We'll take the same. 41-16, Indiana leads on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
If you have the time, make the time for the Milan 54 Hoosiers Museum. Houses artifacts, memorabilia of the Milan Muncie Central 54 championship game and the largest single collection of items from the movie Hoosiers. It captures the excitement of 1954, and it's open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 until 4. For more information, milan54.org, 201 West Carr Street in Milan.
Very cool place. If you're listening have not been there. It's worth the drive. It's really, really cool.
Foul going to be called. That'll go against Justin Curry, and free throws coming up. In fact, these will be the first free throws we have had of this game.
Well, part of it's because Kentucky's shot selection has not been very good. They've jacked up a lot of threes, Greg, and you're not going to draw any fouls or get to the line when you settle for three-point jump shots.
This portion of the game brought to us by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, who wants to congratulate Justin Curry of Noblesville for being a part of today's Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin, the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com. So 1 of 2 free throws made. Ball poked away by Feldhaus.
I'd like to see Feldhaus get more touches. I mean, he's just kind of like been playing around with the guys and accepting bad shots that they're taking, some of them. Heard a lot about him. I'd like to see him play. Okay, flex out of bounds, flex set. Feldhaus with a good defensive play to stop the cut.
Barry turns and misses. Holmes got a piece of that. It'll be out of bounds.
Carrion Barry played for Avon, Coach Drew Schaus, and had a really outstanding junior year. They got up as high as number 2 in the state, I believe, in the rankings. But somehow the Brownsburg Bulldogs and Steve Lynch ran through that sectional, kind of pulled several upsets. Some people think 1, some people think 2, and some people think all 3 games were upsets for them. But a great finish for the Bulldogs this year. But Avon's got a lot coming back.
Georgia's shot does not go. Ertl was right back in. And Feldhaus stepped out of bounds, so it'll be Indiana basketball. Back to the starting 5 is largely rotated back through now for Indiana. And they have 11 in uniform, but just 10 will play today. Catch and shoot for Curry. And that's a big part of his game.
That is, yeah. I've seen a lot of his games living, obviously, in Hamilton County.
Trailer 3 for Kentucky does not go, and Ertl rebounds down from the guard position as he does so well. He'll pull from the elbow and score. Listen, it is so easy to go, all right, Braden Smith to Luke Ertl. How will Luke translate to Purdue?
Extremely well. Extremely well. Braden Smith was a big scorer in high school at Westfield his senior year. So will Luke Ertl. Yet they are really point guard passing first point guards. Hard to believe that, I know, but they really are. But they're going to score a lot in high school.
Shaw kind of ran out of options that time in the middle of the lane. His 13 still leads all scorers. His 13 almost has outscored Kentucky.
Kentucky's more than half of their shots have been three-point shots that they've taken.
So they wise up to the game there, and Jeremiah Jackson. We've got Jeremiah Jackson from St. X, Jaden Johnson from Trinity. Not confusing at all. Ertl misses. Edelin 3. No. Good weak side glass, and the putback is there.
Good timeout. Good timeout called by Todd Wolfley. I mean, I know you're up 20. Why do you need a timeout up 22? Well, because you're getting this team ready to play against the senior All-Stars.
Timeout called by Indiana. Let's thank our friends at Unranked Hoops. Unranked Hoops is partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts in the fall of 2025. Inside the walls of the newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis, Unranked provides opportunities for both girls and boys youth hoopers to learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Check out unrnkd.com for more information. Sign up for our email list for updates, unrnkd.com.
And number 10 sitting next to Coach Eli Henson is Kason Dager. Unfortunately cannot play today, the Silver Creek Dragon. He's a 6'2 senior, averages over 16 a game as a junior. And that Silver Creek Dragon team, led by Coach Hoffman, is going to be very good next year, Greg.
Silver Creek has as good of a pair of girls and boys coaches as does any high school in the state. Between he and Scott Shane, they're in good stead in Sellersburg. McGrew fires and scores. And again, if he makes it on the regular, I'm not sure what you do about that. On the drive, blocking foul is going to be called. And free throws to be coming up for Kentucky.
I love, though, that Shaw tried to take a block in it or take a charge in an all-star game, Greg. Here you see McGrew just get set up, and that shot has gotten so much better. He's legit 6'8",
So Jackson to shoot 2. Let's thank our buddy Brady Laurie of Laurie Law. Brady's been serving the citizens of Marion, Johnson, Hamilton, and surrounding counties for over 25 years. If you or someone you know is in criminal trouble or has been injured, make the call to Brady for a consultation. Let Brady put his negotiating skills and criminal experience to work for you. Call 317-253-7783 or email BradyJLaurie@gmail.com.
Greg, you are a wizard at history and stats here. I hate to bring us up. We're only 6:32 to go in the first half, but what is the record for most points in the junior all-star game between Indiana and Kentucky? Because right now the clip Indiana's playing, they're going to put up a bunch of points unless they just get really cold, because Kentucky's taking fast shots, not getting any second shots, and Indiana's just coming down and getting any shot they want.
The answer is I have to look that back up.
Well, take your time. I can talk a little
Maybe
bit.
the halftime show.
Curry on the drive.
Shot blocked.
Yeah.
Fresh, able to track it down for Indiana. Want to thank our ISC Sports Network crew. Thank you to Sean Walker, Adam Clendenning, and Elijah Mash. And again, thank you, Chad Gilbert, for being such a gracious host as we knew you would be.
And he did want me to mention that Sacred Heart legend Bob Tonini is on the stats, as I've got a copy of their stat sheet after the first 10 minutes.
Fresh!
Woo! I told you he could get up. I watched him in warm-ups, and he is really, I think you're going to give him a warning, a delay warning maybe, or just let Feldhaus get up after trying to take this charge. There's the replay still. Ertl giving it up. Nice. And then Feldhaus just, boom.
Yeah, just inadvertently got clipped.
Yeah, inadvertent.
So 7 for Anthony. In Charlestown, they've had to try to get through Silver Creek and Brownstown the last few years. And there is a logo 3, then there's a volleyball line 3. That was the latter of the two. And Edelin got it to go. That would have been a back row attack yesterday on the ISC Sports Network. Curry for 3, can't answer. All the way down, left-hand score it for Jaden Johnson.
Excuse me, he never got the ball stopped on defense. Kind of a lazy type of defensive play there, but that happens in all-star games. Though I'll tell you, our girls did a great job getting the ball stopped in that first game against the Kentucky juniors.
Basket cut by Curry. He's fouled. Again, Curry, a player that will play in both games. Smith, Shaw, McGrew, Ertl, and Barry. That's the group that will play in both.
And what a backcourt Nobles is going to have. There's the logo 3 you referred to, Greg, on the last Kentucky possession. But throw in Barron Walker with the Millers, another outstanding guard. They're going to have great guard play. And speaking of great guard play, Luke Ertl drains a 3 from that left corner. What a player.
Well, we'll see Barron in the game on Wednesday, by the way.
Right.
He's part of the North group, so to speak. Edelin the scoop and score. Edelin now with 5. Well, Kentucky has found their offense. The issue is they've not found their defense.
No.
Smith back in there for Indiana. McGrew the spin, McGrew the drive, and Guy will shoot 2.
May have got away with a hook, a little bit of a hook, Greg, but not as called as often as it used to be. Watch. Boom, right there, that left arm kind of creates space by pushing him off a little bit.
Oh, that was a hook. Thing is few are as strong as Kai is in high school to make it that effective. Today's game brought to us by Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at lots of things like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan's here to help you think through any question you have about your auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Call with the number on your screen. Congratulations to Noah Smith of Plainfield for playing in today's game. The pull from 18. Got it. Johnson with 6, his 3rd field goal. And Ertl just put a little too much on that one.
But again, I can live with those turnovers because at least he didn't leave it short. So no run out by Kentucky. Kentucky, the last few possessions, driving the ball a little bit more to the basket. I'm sure Brandon Salzman, the head coach of this Kentucky junior team, has mentioned that. We're not going to get to the line if we don't drive to the basket. Stop settling for so many threes. It's fool's gold. Bingo. Nice drive. Pull-up shot. Jeremiah Jackson for 2.
He's got 6 as well. Nice play to Ertl. 3 for Shelsky. Good look that wouldn't go, but good put back by Edwin Holmes. He's got 7 in limited minutes.
Now his stat line coming into that semi-state game was a great stat line of rebounds, block shots, and points. He averaged 16-7.
The jumper from 17 is pure. Well, again, Kentucky's got the offense kind of now on track. It's just, can they get stops at the other end? Ertl, there's one for you. 3 in the corner, no. Good look that would not go. Smith will lead the break. Couldn't finish, but Ertl using that strength from his football days to collect the rebound. And again, are you ever prepared to go to the Big Ten from a high level of high school basketball and frankly a national level of AAU that he plays? He will be as prepared physically and mentally, I think, as you possibly can be. Barry off the side of the backboard. George will pull for 3. That's good.
Better make it. No, all 5 guys are just or 4 guys standing there watching him make it. But Tylen George now has 2 threes. He's got 6.
Ertl. Ertl now with 13. He and Shaw with 13 apiece.
Woo. Linda Ronstadt move right there. We're by you.
Back at 16. Barry's pull-up 3 does not go. High slip. Bucket is good by Jackson.
Yeah, another good timeout, I think, called by Indiana. Lead's getting closer now, 14-point lead.
So the timeout called by Indiana. Let's thank our friends at Hamilton Southeastern Schools. For the first time, Hamilton Southeastern Schools are opening their doors to students from outside of the district. At Hamilton Southeastern, excellent starts here. Learn more by going to hscschools.org/enrollment. And HSC Schools wants to congratulate Kai McGrew of Fishers for playing in today's game.
How good Fishers could be next year with the guards they have coming back, and Jason Gardner Jr., particularly him, and the Zachary boy. I'll tell you, Cooper Zachary can really play. I remember seeing him as a 6th grader and thinking, wow, if he gets any size, well, he hasn't, and he's still great. I mean, he just hasn't grown very much, but he hasn't had to. His ball skills are so good, his headiness, and now you throw the 6'8" Kai McGrew in there, 6'9" Kai McGrew, and they're going to be a force again next year.
Now, you had asked about the points record for this game.
I did, yes.
The answer is 142. That was in Jeffersonville, a win by Indiana in June of 2019. Last year, the Indiana Juniors scored 130 against Kentucky in a game at Scottsburg.
Well, because Kentucky, the last 5 minutes, has had better shot selection, it hasn't given Indiana a chance to shoot it so fast and scores at the pace they were for a while.
And I think stepping out of bounds that time was Barry on his way to the basket. Indiana has won the last 2. Or won the last 1. They lost to Kentucky in Jeffersonville by 14 2 years ago. Chance to pull it back to 12 or 11 here. It was well north of 20 for a while.
25 points, biggest lead. 41-16 by Indiana early.
Ball lost by Kentucky.
Indiana had a 26-3 run, Greg, in that early in the first half here to really get this lead up. But now Kentucky's really battling back. There's still plenty of time in this game. My gosh, got another 20 minutes to go after the halftime break. And see what kind of, okay, Ertl's coming off a screen here since he's not bringing the ball up. There's the flare screen for him. Barry didn't get it to him when he's supposed to. Got the overload, the triangle there with McGrew, pop and pick. He's going to roll.
Neal for 3.
Nice play. Very nice offense there, speaking as an old-time coach. That was a great play. They challenged him to double-team McGrew on the roll down. Neal got himself open, got behind the three-point line. Great execution.
Are you surprised with Ertl as your point guard, Todd Wolfley as your head coach, and a couple of coaches' kids on the team that they run really good offense?
Nope.
Not at all. Even they got together for an hour, like that's good enough. We'll figure this out. Smith got a part of that one. On the putback, though, the bucket is good, and Jeremiah Jackson now with a dozen to lead Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky's done a nice job on the boards. I don't have the stats currently updated here, but their rebounding's kept them close in this game. Close to being a 15-point right now. Reaching foul.
Ertl draws the foul. 16 foul against Kentucky. And again, we are playing college rules on the fouls today, or are we? Let's see.
You see the last two possessions, the three-point shot and the putback there. Going to be the bonus?
Yep. No, we're not. So again, college rules on the fouls, which means you're going to shoot on the 7th and not the 6th or the 5th.
Curry back in on that deep right corner where he loves to shoot it from.
Neal again. Got it.
I'd guard him if I was anyone that was playing against Bloomfield.
And an offensive foul against Watkins. Indiana kind of baited him a little bit into making that contact.
Yeah, Dikembe Shaw. He is very sneaky and deceptive. You know,
in the nicest way possible.
There's a foul. Nice play. Heads up play by Ertl. That was just an eye contact thing with McGrew. And finds him for 2 free throws here. This is an area I think Kai McGrew is a good shooter and a good free throw shooter. The ones he misses, he always steps back off that line a little bit premature. He doesn't go all the way up in his toes and watch it go in. And usually he makes his first one and he misses the second one if he doesn't get up on those toes. So if I was his teammate, I would say, hey, now finish the shot. Don't jump back on defense. Don't assume it's going to go in here.
Ertl, McGrew, like you've called some of his games before.
I hate to say I took a little step back.
And Shaw each with 13 points apiece. Ball knocked away. Indiana gets the steal. Chance to put it back over 20 by halftime. Curry, not that time. McGrew, the putback.
Boy, is Kai playing well.
Clock is on your screen. Good if it goes. It does not. Indiana will take a 21-point lead to halftime. Well, Indiana got off to a great start. Kentucky kind of reeled them back in. The finishing kick by the Hoosier State to make it 21 at the break. Number 21 has 13 points. One of 3 Indiana players in double digits. Both teams dialing long distance today on the ISC Sports Network.
As a member-owned cooperative, Nine Star serves our members who are also our friends, our neighbors, our family. You know, we take that role very seriously. We want to provide that customer with the same experience and customer service that we would expect ourselves.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Looking for a school district that
challenges, supports, inspires.
Hamilton Southeastern Schools is now accepting non-resident transfer students.
Giving families living outside our boundaries the opportunity to be a part of one of Indiana's top school districts.
With state-leading academics, unique hands-on programming, and a vibrant school community,
there's a place for every student to grow and succeed.
Apply now!
And take the next step toward a bright future.
Welcome back to Charlestown. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you on the ISC Sports Network. The song remains the same. Indiana won the girls' game by 42. Literally on track for that here. Lead the boys' game 66-45. And, you know, maybe, Pete, this junior boys team is kind of like the group from a couple of years ago in Indiana. in that we were kind of concerned about the depth of the class, but the top-end talent is really good because Luke Ertl, Kai McGrew, and Dikembe Shaw, they have combined for 41 points, and Neal has made 3 threes. He has done exactly what's been asked of him here as Indiana has a 21-point lead.
42 points of Indiana's points have come from behind the arc.
That's 14 threes, kids.
Yes.
I can do the math.
That is crazy, and you just mentioned Blake Neal's been the beneficiary of some really nice passing, some good ball movement. The other thing, Indiana has a 13-2 advantage on points off turnovers, so there's your spread right there.
It's kind of been, for Kentucky, the offense has had its ups and downs. I think it's been more good than bad. But clearly, you give up 66 in 20 minutes, you kind of scratch your head about a little bit of defense.
Well, and most of the first 12 to 15 minutes of the half, Kentucky was taking quick, fast, missed three-point shots, and that leads to runouts. Longer the shot, the longer the rebound.
Indiana looking for back-to-back wins in this series and 9 in 14 matchups dating back to June of 2012. Our score at the break, Indiana 66, Kentucky 45. Highlights come your way next from Charlestown as you're watching the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game on the ISC Sports Network.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Nine Star is very focused on customer and member care, focused on making sure that however we communicate with the member and customer is how they want to communicate.
Sometimes we're the one person that they speak to in a day, and you want that conversation to be happy and pleasant.
As a nonprofit co-op, we're focused on providing the best service we can for our members.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Right to the highlights we go as they fly by. We'll give you scoring. Pete will give you kind of a look at the comprehensive team stats. McGrew 15, Ertl 13, Shaw 13. His were all early. Fresh 7, Neal 9, Holmes 7. Justin Curry the second had 2. Trey Shelsky played but did not score. Noah Smith played but did not score. For Kentucky, Jeremiah Jackson with a dozen. DeMarcus Surratt had 8. De'Aaron Watkins had 3. Jaden Johnson 6. Cole Edelin 5. Tylen George with 8 as well. Those are the individual numbers, Pete, of the team numbers. What catch your attention?
Great passing by Indiana on the assists. They have 16 assists. Kentucky, 3 made baskets that have been assisted on. So great job by Shelsky and by our guy from Mount Vernon, Ertl. Ertl has 7 assists, Shelsky 5. Shelsky hasn't scored yet, but he's done a lot of little things in this game.
We've referenced kind of the big scores. You mentioned Neal off the bench. I think Anthony Fresh and Evan Holmes have really also played well for Indiana too, Pete.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Fresh got him off to a real good start. Holmes came off the bench and did a good job. We'll see this half if Coach Todd Wolfley and Eli Henson start the second group, or if they go. The girls started a whole new 5 the second half. They had a nice size lead. Indiana, Kentucky's in striking distance because there's still 20 minutes to go. They didn't shoot the 3 ball very, very well. Indiana was 14 of 30 from 3. And they were in the offense, as you're seeing these highlight clips. They're in the offense. They're not like just one dribble and shoot it. See, penetration, that's good pull-up because he wasn't guarded. Kentucky has not contested a lot of Indiana shots. Their hands are down a lot. There we find the guy on the weak side. McGrew's got a wide open 3, a semi-contest there by Jeremiah Jackson. And again, good run out here. And the hometown boy, when I say that, the hometown boy ducks it. Anthony Fresh from Charlestown.
That was to give Indiana a 25-point lead. Credit Kentucky. They made a run. They got it back to about a dozen. But obviously Indiana has pushed it right back to 21 at halftime. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back. Second half action. It's not too far away as you're watching the 2025 Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game from Charlestown, Indiana. Back with more in a moment on ISC.
For the first time ever, Hamilton Southeastern Schools is opening its doors
to students residing outside the district.
If you are looking for an award-winning school system
that offers top-tier academics, innovative programs, and endless opportunities,
now is your chance to join us. With more than 21,000 students, HSC is where learning comes to life.
Apply today and become part of a district that's shaping the future. Because at HSC, excellence starts here.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
As a member-owned cooperative, 9 Star serves our members who are also our friends, our neighbors, our family. You know, we take that role very seriously. We want to provide that customer with the same experience and customer service that we would expect ourselves.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Today's game presented in part by 9 Star Connect. Enter the 9 Star Connect, a local smart utility, has the fastest internet in the state. In fact, 9 Star can offer speeds up to 10 gig. Try getting that many of the provider. Find out what so many others already know and call 9 Star today. 9 Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew? And 9 Star congratulates Luke Ertl of Mount Vernon on his selection as a core member of the Indiana Junior All-Stars. Alongside Pete Smith, my name is Greg Rakestraw. We'll do it again tomorrow night. I'll be joined by Jan Bozier at Fishers High School tomorrow night. Indiana Futures game featuring the top freshmen and sophomores in the state. Girls game at 6, boys to follow. In the same place you're watching right here, the ISC Sports Network.
Same starters for Indiana.
George to Edelin for 3 and buries it.
At least they took one pass and took it that time. When I say that, Greg, they shot it awful quick to start the game. That one, they made at least one pass. They just didn't drill it down and chuck it up.
Shaw, Curry, Ertl. ISO Joe let Ertl go to work. Lost the first time, couldn't finish the second time. Still scrapping for it with Feldhaus here. And it will be a jump ball that will stay with Indiana.
I like the set because they cleared that weak side, as you made reference to. And Ertl on the one-on-one drive just used that right hand. And remember, fans, he's left-handed. Used the right hand for the layup, missed it. Somehow got a second shot up and still was not going to be denied to at least keep the possession by tying it up down low.
Listen, Todd Wolfley can really coach. And if you ask coaches across the state, like who are some of the best coaches in this state, you don't get very far down the list before Todd's name starts to come up.
Todd does a great job developing a team, too.
And they're going to be good at Terrell North again. Be really good this coming year. Ertl on the drive, and at the last moment, McGrew throws it down. 2 players go down on the Ertl drive. And clearly, Jackson appears to be all right. Everything's in working order.
Whoa, great hang time there.
Yeah, that was Feldhaus. Yeah. A domino effect that he knocked over Jackson. McGrew was 17. We'll see his now former teammate Brendan Miller. He's on the North group, representing Lawrence North. 3 does not go. Curry will track it down. Curry cleared for takeoff and got put on his tuchus. And then a hand check foul on McGrew.
Well, you admire the tenacity, and I see nothing to fear by Justin Curry III, but what a block shot there. Whoa.
Jaden Johnson of Trinity.
6'5" junior.
He made Curry think about the Holy Trinity as he was going down to the floor. And turnover by Kentucky.
Full court pressure, or token full court pressure. Kentucky's defense, intensity-wise, has been okay. Not great. I would be happy with it, but it hasn't been terrible. It's just Indiana, led by Ertl and Shelsky at the point, have done a great job. Curry says, okay, you're going to block that one. I'm going to guard it, shield it with my body, and make it.
Well, both defenders jumped the screen for McGrew, and that opened the path for Curry, his second field goal. Curry played for Scott McClellan at Noblesville. Shot is up and no good. Barry the rebound.
I know it's an all-star game. That's not a good shot. That's a good shot right there. Because it's in the flow. He's coming down. He can catch it. He's not just standing there in stationary position and shooting it. And again, not a good shot by Kentucky again. It was like 1 on 4. I think Kentucky's got great talent, Greg. They just aren't playing well as a team.
Ertl, not that time. Ertl 16. Amongst the best for Indiana, but
gets back on defense, makes a steal, Greg. Love it.
Barry pulls for 3, and that's good.
And again, that's in the flow of the game. The difference is Kentucky's one pass, you stand, and I shoot it.
Timeout called by Kentucky. Go ahead and keep it right here.
Flow of the game. Flow of the game. Flow of the game. Love it.
Today's game brought to us by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, who wants to congratulate Kai McGrew of Fishers for being a part of today's Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin's the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
Not putting any blame on Brandon Salzman at all, from head coach of this team, game director Scott Chalk also there, but their team is just not figuring that we need to work the ball a little bit better and let the game come to us instead of forcing the issue and thinking you have to make, I hate to say it, Jalen Brunson shots all the time, which last night in the championship game of the Eastern Conference Finals, Brunson was cold, but part of it was a great defensive effort by Andrew Nebhard.
Today's game brought to us by Unranked Hoops, partnered with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Check out unrnkd.com for more information and sign up for email list updates.
Full court token pressure put on by Indiana. As fresh as all over the ball here, or carrying Barry, I mean.
The slip. Feldhaus got it to go.
Only his second shot of the game. He's made both. I don't understand why he's not getting more touches. Very highly regarded player out of the state with great family legacy and lineage.
Ertl finds a seam, and I think honestly the shot was his last option. The passing was close, and all right, I'll take it to the window and score myself.
He was looking for someone to pass to. You're exactly right.
Shot misses.
Biggest lead of the game now, 28 points by Indiana, 78-50.
From the volleyball line, yes. Purdue fans everywhere just smiled whether they're watching the game or not. 31-point lead for Indiana. Shaw with the defensive hustle.
Been really impressed with Shaw. He was the point guard on the last set to get Ertl open. He started that offense. There's Ertl's nice high banker. And then the second play, Shaw starts the offense, sets kind of like a brush screen. McGrew had already pinned down the defender, and wide open deep three for Ertl.
Ball knocked away by Barry, picked up by Shaw. I have a college coaching buddy of mine that has asked me to stop saying nice things about Dikembe Shaw. The reason being, he thinks he can land him if nobody else knows about him. I'm not sure you can keep that secret much longer because Dikembe can really play.
You know, sometimes Northwest Indiana gets a little overshadowed up there, Crown Point in the region. Oh, God. Ertl just does such a good job of making eye contact and saying, I'm going to feed it to you, and no one else knows it except Ertl and McGrew. Easy basket there.
McGrew at 19.
Well, tell your coaching buddy I'm sorry, but
the secret's out of the bag, buddy. Too late.
I wouldn't be doing justice if I wouldn't be mentioning what I think of Shaw. Dikembe's playing very well.
He can really play. And again, on the boys' side, there's this kind of status of we're not sure what to expect because of the new transfer policy.
Right.
If everybody kind of stays put, frankly, Crown Point is amongst the favorites to win the state this year.
Got to the semi-state last year.
And obviously, Jeffersonville has now shown, hey, listen, you don't have to be from the Indy area to win a state title. What you got to do is you got to get downstate. And Clint Swan has done that, and they will do that even more this coming season.
Well, and Mark Urban did a great job for a couple years at Chesterton. So the region's got great basketball up there.
Second free throw good by Jackson. He's got a game-high 13 for Kentucky. That's a little solace right now. Barry gets downhill and missed it. Rebound for Kentucky. This is Seth Caudill. Hazard, Kentucky.
Give it to Feldhaus. I'm sorry, but I'd like to see him get some touches.
Three does not go, and Shaw, the uncontested board. He'll pull for three. That does not go.
A little quick there, but kind of like a heat check there. Indiana playing so well.
Oop. Just couldn't get it collected.
Run to the block. Ertl, the smallest guy on the floor for Indiana.
With his opposite hand, by the way.
Yeah.
This was his weak hand.
Yeah, and gets the layup. It's amazing if you just run to the block sometimes how you'll be rewarded because no one guards the block. You're always guarding the three-point line in transition now, particularly since that's all Kentucky's shooting.
Jalen Crane in the game for Kentucky as well. Elbow jump shot does not go. And we're about to hit the open gym territory of this game. And Ertl says, fine, I'll take it. Timeout called by Kentucky. Let's take it with them. 87-51. Indiana is in front with 15 to play. You're watching on ISC.
Looking for a school district that
Challenges, supports, inspires.
Hamilton Southeastern Schools is now accepting non-resident transfer students.
Giving families living outside our boundaries the opportunity to be a part of one of Indiana's top school districts.
With state-leading academics, unique hands-on programming, and a vibrant school community,
There's a place for every student to grow and succeed
Apply now!
and take the next step toward a bright future.
Okay, thank you, Sean Walker. Thanks to Adam Clendenning. Thanks to Elijah Mash. Our crew behind the scenes. Hope you join us in person at Fisher's tomorrow night. If not, we've got you covered. Streaming on ISCSportsNetwork.com, our Twitter, our YouTube, Apple TV, and Roku, where you can find the games all week long that are played in the state of Indiana. The three does not go. And Feldhaus will track it down. He will fire, and he will miss that. But, again, the weak side glass. Shot is good. Finally goes for DeMarcus Surratt. He's got 10.
It's one of the least energetic defensive stands that Indiana's had right there, giving them 3 shots on that possession.
Smith and Fresh back in. Surratt the steal, the takeaway.
Active hands. Just Indiana's had really good active hands, and they double the ball a lot. There's a double in a bad spot in the corner.
Shelsky back in as well. Surratt sticks the triple. He's got 13. He and Jackson lead the way for Kentucky. Shelsky on the take. He's fouled. Trey Shelsky will shoot 2.
Get a chance to get on the scoreboard here. He's not scored yet.
And Park Heritage has done a really nice job of trying to schedule up the last couple of years. They are still less than a decade old as a high school. Unranked Hoops presents today's game. They're partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs. And Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy starts this fall. Inside the walls of the newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis provide opportunities for both girls and boys youth hoopers learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Go to unrnkd.com for more information.
Shelsky's on the board. Edwin Holmes checked in for Kai McGrew between the free throw attempts.
On the drive, Surratt, no, but he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Holmes on the foul. Just never got in front of the basketball to stop it there.
Indiana will play at Kentucky, at Lexington Catholic on Friday night. The two teams turn around ahead at Indianapolis and play on Saturday. And then for the seniors, a lot of those kids then head out on Sunday to begin their college basketball journeys. Surratt makes them both. Ertl, catch and shoot 3. He's got 28.
Love it when I see the guy start the offense, start the break, and gets it back after the third pass, and he's wide open. Great ball movement by Indiana there.
Cottle for 3. That's good.
Okay, squared up. Had a nice turn to shoot that one, Greg.
Cottle averaged 14 points a game for Hazard. Smith pulls from 15. That does not go. And Fresh on the flyby couldn't get back to it. Out of bounds to Kentucky.
I would tell you, Noah Smith reminds me of his dad from this standpoint. Angelo was not a scorer in high school. He was a shot blocker. He was a good low post player. He got better when he went to college. And I think Noah, who's got great potential and does a lot of great things, will be that way also as he gets a defensive rebound. He runs the floor well. And I know you say, well, last year for his team he scored 16-8. But you get in games like this, I think he'll just get better by learning to play better players.
Nice dish by Fresh. Holmes lays it up and in. Edwin's got 9. Of course, Princeton has aspirations of winning a 3A championship this coming season. Surratt, no. That ball, I think Shelsky made a mistake. Thought it was touched by a Kentucky player. It was not. It was his own teammate that got it.
Surprised he didn't go get it either because he's a coach's son.
Right.
And usually, coaches usually tell their kids, if you can get a rebound, don't guess that it wasn't touched by your own guy.
On the low block, Watkins puts it up and in. Catch and shoot for Fresh, no. But Neal, the rebound, missed it. Neal does not have a 2-point field goal today, just 3s for Blake.
Five out for Kentucky.
3 from the wing does not go. Good crash, though, and the putback bucket is good for Surratt. He has been one of the bright spots today.
Yeah, he's been active. When he's not blocked out, he goes to the boards. Another quick shot there by Anthony Fresh, trying to keep the hometown crowd interested in this because he is from this high school where we're playing, Charlestown.
On the drive, a foul on the pass. That is Jagger Martis of LaRue County. First time we have called his name today.
Love the first name, though, Jagger.
Lika Tenney about to come back in.
Foul was called before the shot there.
Yeah, 6 total fouls so far in the half. 4 against Indiana and 2 on Kentucky. Tenney hits the 3 from Danville Christian. 6'10". Pull up 3, does not go. That was Shelsky that missed. That 3, no. And Smith.
We are in open gym now.
Oh, easily.
We are in open gym action.
Smith on the take, left it short.
Ooh, inside out dribble, liked it. Good inside out dribble. Didn't get the ball stop. Basketball, was that Amari Owens?
That is correct, his first basket.
Brian Stations had some good teams in Lexington over the years.
Holmes misses, and lead is down to 22. Surratt, yes.
Timeout.
Surratt with 20.
Nope, not going to call it. I thought he was going to call a timeout here. Nope, Just saw Todd Wolfley say, keep it going, keep it moving.
Smith pulls and misses.
Didn't stop the ball.
On the take, the putback. Surratt with 22. And this is a run that has taken this from a 30-point game down to 17.
Clear out for Shaw on the right side.
Draws the contact. And Dikembe Shaw, who in all 13 of his points were early in this game. Have a look at 2 free throws here. Surratt using every bit of that rim to get that to go, but
the lack of block out here just comes in and boom. No block out. I will slam that down to the floor.
Shaw gets his first points of the half from the free throw line. McGrew returns, Barry returns, and Ertl returns. Holmes will stay on the floor.
And I think the play may get a little bit better with Indiana now that Ertl's back in the game. He'll control the pace. What a game he's had, too.
Shaw missed from the line. And that wing three is good for Surratt.
They're making the threes now.
Surratt now with 25.
Still 10 minutes left to go, less than 10, but more than 9 minutes. So they got time to get back in if they keep hitting the threes.
By the way, the McGrew with the dunk.
Nice set play, high 1-4 set where he slipped the screen and it came right to the ball side block and got the dunk.
The individual points records are at risk in today's games.
Oh, good look.
Tenney got the left hand to go.
Kept the ball up high, I liked it.
Back to a 15-point game. Shaw finds Ertl. So Ertl now with 30, which ties the Indiana record for points in a game. Kobe Barnes had 30 for Indiana.
Boy, there's a guy. Floyd Central?
Correct.
Yeah, Kobe Barnes.
A Tenney's three does not go.
He hit the first one, though, he took.
By the way, the Kentucky record for points in this game is 28 from David Johnson. Shaw with 16. By the way, those games are available when you go to iscsportsnetwork.com. We did those games at Ben Davis back in 2018. Go back in the Wayback Machine and see that from 7 years ago. The basket is good by Amari Owens.
Tough shot.
So Indiana already at 100, but we will have a timeout here with 8:17 left to go. Let's thank Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at lots of things, like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan's here to help you think through any of the questions you have about your auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Talk to Nathan in person, online or over the phone at 317-507-7871, or stop by his office, 9821 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Now, I mentioned this earlier. His office is located next to Nothing Bundt Cakes. Why would I bring that up? Well, first of all, they're quite tasty. But secondly, I actually did an event with Nathan on Thursday, and he said that is like the #1 identifier as to how to find his office. So I said, you know what? When I do your read this week, I'll give Nothing Bundt Cakes a little bit of love as well. Nathan wants to congratulate Carry-On Barry of Avon for playing in today's game. Again, call Nathan Begley and let's insurance together.
A little bit of break for Indiana to see if they can regain some of that momentum. Had the lead up in the 30s for a while. Justin Curry will bring the ball up. Something he doesn't do very much for Noblesville. We've got Barron Walker, who we'll see Wednesday night. Usually plays the point. And actually, they had a good point guard this year, T.J. Davidson. He's headed on to college to play. And throws it away. It was going to be a set play for Ertl because they had Ertl on the wing. They ran it in the first half. That time Kentucky does a good job defending it. They'll have to bring it back up again.
Ertl got fouled. Fourth foul against Kentucky. No damage done there.
Go in the backcourt. There we go.
Barry, almost a turnover. Obviously, Kentucky playing with a lot more confidence and a lot more intensity. Barry on the bounce, the step back, got it.
He's on the board. I think that'll help a little bit. He's played just a little bit tight, not being on the board yet. Got 2 points now.
Jacob Spurlock is in the game, and Spurlock, a young man that, again, plays some AAU basketball with some of the Indiana kids. Jump shot by Surratt does not go. Tenney tracks it down. Surratt couldn't finish. Now it's numbers the other way. Ertl.
Nice defense. Got the ball stopped. All ball. Shaw back on defense to stop the break.
Floater is good. Owens has 6 all since halftime. Close enough to keep it interesting, not close enough to get you a little nervous yet if you're Indiana, as we pass the 7-minute mark. Barry lost the handle.
Oh. Slick move there. I'm a little nervous, Greg. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to come back and win, but 15 points with 6.5 minutes to go. Maybe it's because I'm watching too much NBA basketball, but Indiana needs, and they got the ball in the hands of the right guy.
Ertl missed. McGrew couldn't hang on to it. Chance to further chip into this lead here for Kentucky.
Good
Shaw
job.
picks the pocket. Shaw will pull for 3. No. But Ertl kept it alive. Curry, the fade. No. McGrew battling. And touch last by Kentucky.
He was out of bounds when he touched it. McGrew caught it after the Kentucky player was out of bounds. Starters back in the game. This is who Indiana started the contest and the second half with, these 5 players.
Ertl will pull and miss. Look ahead pass. Bucket is good. That's Amari Owens. Owens with 8. Lead is down to 13. This is as close as Kentucky has gotten. And with that, a timeout taken by Indiana. Let's thank our friends at Unranked Hoops one more time. Unranked Hoops is partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Inside the walls, newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis. Unranked to provide opportunities for both girls and boys youth hoopers to learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Check out unranked.com for more information and sign up for email list updates. That's unrnkd.com.
13-point spread is very, very in striking distance for Kentucky, so don't leave a shed here. Largest lead of the game, Indiana led 87-51, led by 36 at one time in this game. But Kentucky went on a 21-3 run, Greg, to get back into the ball game here after that. I tell you, I've coached in a few all-star games, and it just the big momentum can switch, you know, and this is played almost in Kentucky, quite frankly. So Kentucky's going to have a nice little crowd here this afternoon here, and you can hear them get back into the game. Been a few complaints about what they thought were a missed call or two, but we've got a ball game here now. Again, Kentucky has most of their starters in. Feldhaus is not in. Got the big boy in there, Leak Ateni, and he's been a good factor for them in this run they've made.
Shaw draws it up. How about that dish?
Good.
McGrew the dive and score. He's got 23.
Nice job.
Indiana's been sitting on 100 for a while. Yeah. Johnson and Jackson, the high school rivals, on the floor together. Missed that one. And eventually out of there with it is Justin Curry.
And I think a big key of this game so far has been the 50-50 battle, but they turn it over after winning one.
And the left hand is good. And Owens now with double digits all in the second half. It was once a 30-point Indiana lead.
36, yeah.
Curry for three, got it.
That's the Curry we're used to seeing there. Good look there, wide open look, had a good shot.
First made three. Turnover, Curry takes it away. Ertl has the window, got fouled, and Ertl couldn't finish, but he makes one free throw. He'll have the new record for this game in terms of points by players from either state.
Yeah, obvious foul, caught him on that shoulder. Ertl just knows how to protect the ball. He just knows how to play. Really like watching him play.
He's got 31.
I'll tell you who else likes watching him play. Joe Bradburn.
His head coach at Mount Vernon. And they will be in the Hall of Fame Classic as well. December 23rd on the ISC Sports Network. Silver Creek will be in that event. We'll see Case and Dager, hopefully fully healthy. Northview will round out the 4 teams in Newcastle on the 23rd.
An interesting field. Look forward to that tournament, always.
Northview ran into Addicks in the regional round this past year.
Nice play. You see Kentucky's getting better shots now here in the last 10 minutes, which has caused them to cut into this 36-point lead. 16-point lead right now for Indiana.
Ertl on the take. Again, won't go, but he's fouled.
Well, when you got a guard like him, you just know that late in the game, up or down, he's going to make good decisions. He has so far. He continues to do it, and he continues to add to this record scoring game he's got in the Junior All-Stars.
33.
Smith comes back in, replacing McGrew.
And 34. By the way, the girls' record for this game, 44 points. Becca Greenwell of Kentucky, the first year was played in 2012.
I thought it was a Kentucky girl, yeah.
Tenney fires and connects, and it's his second made three.
Well, you think Kentucky would come with some pressure, but it's hard to pressure Ertl. I'm sure they have some kind of knowledge and scouting report of him.
Curry for three. He's got 10.
And he's got it going here in the second half.
Indiana doing just enough to keep Kentucky at bay. Wing three, got it. Jaden Johnson. He's got 9.
Well, if they're not going to put more ball pressure on, this game is over, Greg. I expect them to have a little bit more defensive intensity here when they cut that lead down.
That does not go.
And typically you'd have a shot clock. It's really not necessary in this All-Star game, though Indiana would like to just milk some time off.
We will play with it, I know, on Friday and Saturday, at least Saturday night at Cambridge. The putback. And Surratt barely touched the rim on that. He's got 27. So again, he is approaching the Kentucky record. That is 28. Layup is good. That's Jeremiah Jackson with 19. Down to 11. This is as close as it's been. With 2 minutes to play.
Oh, great place to trap.
Ertl was kind of waiting for that to happen. Curry fires, misses. Smith couldn't corral it.
Can they get it to single digits?
Tenney fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Kind of a quiet sense here in the gym, Greg, right now. You're just kind of like, okay, this game should be over, but Indiana's not had the best of shot selection here towards the end. They haven't been moving the ball quite as well, not making Kentucky have to work defensively, and Kentucky's taking a little bit better shots.
Leak with 9.
Ty McGrew back in for Smith.
Kylan George gives Surratt a break. And Surratt 1 point away for the junior record for Kentucky. Chances to be single digits for the first time in a long time. And he got it. So he's got 10.
Only 3 lead changes in this contest, all very early in the contest. At 10, he takes a break. He's done a nice job off the bench for Kentucky, the 6'10" rising senior.
McGrew.
Shelsky, so they have 2 point guards in there now, Ertl and Shelsky, to try to end this game out with a victory. Again, no shot clock.
Shelsky, Ertl, fresh for 3, got it.
That was a big one. That was a huge one for the Pirate, playing in his home gym.
He's got 10. Shot, no good. Feldhaus on the take, no. And McGrew finds Ertl, and with 60 seconds left to go, a little easier breathing for the Indiana fans.
But did you expect them to have to go in 4-corner offense to end the game? No way. When they're up 87-51 and they're starting to play open gym, that's when Kentucky got a little bit better.
Ertl will take the bucket. 36 for Luke Ertl. It will go down as a double-digit Indiana win, but again, it was shaping up to be a beat down of colossal proportions. Credit Kentucky for continuing to battle. Shot blocked by Fresh.
Boy, Fresh is really an athlete.
Shaw taken back away by Kentucky. And half of these juniors we'll see again on Wednesday night. Jackson will finish with 22. But really for Indiana, once you inbound the basketball, you just kind of park in the backcourt. That's exactly what will happen. Indiana ends up getting a 119-108 victory today. Pete, final thoughts on this one?
Well, they showed they can really play basketball the first half and the first 10 minutes of this third quarter. Very talented group, not as tall as other Indiana teams have had on this junior group. They're going to have to really block out and play a full 40 minutes against the seniors to have a shot on Wednesday, but a nice win.
Pretty easy to pick our blue-collar player of the game, brought to us by Boilermakers Local 374. Become a Union Boilermaker. Be on your way to a great career. Find out more when you log on to local374.org. Again, you set a game record in terms of scoring. Luke Ertl's 36 means it's an easy call. Luke Ertl, our blue-collar player of the game.
Finished with 10 assists also.
So a double-double for the Purdue-bound senior to be. Today's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Galitko and Daly, work injury lawyers. Learn more at IndianaWorkers.com. By Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Avon. Call Nathan Begley today and let's insurance together. By 9-Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew? By Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Eurostyle basketball academy that starts this fall. Check out UNRNKD.com. And by Hamilton Southeastern Schools, to open to students outside of the HSC district. Learn more at hscschools.org. 36 for Ertl, 23 for McGrew, 16 for Shaw to lead Indiana, 27 for Surratt, 22 for Jackson, 10 for Ateni, 10 for Owens to lead Kentucky. Partner, a pleasure, and I will see you on Wednesday evening.
Looking forward to it. Should be a great one.
Jan Bozier joins me tomorrow night from Fishers for the Futures games. We hope you join us there. For Pete, for Sean, for Adam, for Elijah, for our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Goodbye from Charlestown. Indiana gets the doubleheader sweep. Thanks for watching this Junior All-Star game on the ISC Sports Network.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.